Yes. This listing of battered women's shelters, the written statement of the officer is required to provide is explicit in listing battered women's shelters. Yes. Now, for every allegation of domestic violence, Squim, Washington. Why don't you give me all the battered women's shelters and all the battered women that had to stay in those shelters? Yes. You would have thought with two counts of violating the protection order on December 31st of 2015, my wife would have immediately moved from wherever the fuck they were living at and went to a battered women's shelter so as to protect herself and my sons. Oh, but I don't think that happened. Ouch. Now, the RCW 10.31.1002C requires the police, to make an arrest if they believe an assault has occurred in a domestic violence situation. I was never arrested for what happened in Brennan, Washington, because I wasn't there. Oh, well, the officer didn't believe that I had committed any domestic violence. The prosecuting attorney did, yes. Now, there is something that's being determined, the need to protect victims of domestic violence, yes. The comparative physical injuries, and then this history of domestic violence between the parties. Well, let's see. My wife had me arrested on Guam. So I did 7 hours of parenting classes. My record was expunged. You decided to issue a protection order in 2011. Then you issued another one in 2012. Then you modified it again in 2012. Then you now, I think, yes, that my wife needs to be convicted of some domestic violence. Now, this preconceived notion, yes, it's a color of law notion. Yes, it is. Colors the officer's perceptions when responding to a domestic violence call. It means the male victim is at a disadvantage from the moment he picks up the phone to call the police for help. Put my signature there. Yeah. Of the 2,270,000 emails where you said I should have called the police if I wanted to report domestic violence, what the fuck would you say today's email is if it's not domestic violence? Now, it looks like as a male victim of domestic violence, yes, that your color of law violations, your hate crime, and your treason, yes, is disadvantaging me, yes, as a male heterosexual American citizen. Now, every time you got an email, batter pay for his or her crime. You know, I've actually read this in the judge's guide, yes, to domestic violence. Yes, we did. That you're going to make me pay for the non-existent crime of Squim, Washington. Yes, for the non-existent crime in Brennan, Washington. Pooch. You're going to make me go to court next Wednesday because you just cannot admit the evidence. Now, in addition, the brochures handed out identifying these shelters do not use gender neutral language, indicating the intent that these services are for women only. As if I would want to stay, yes, in a battered men's shelter, yes, where it wouldn't be a homeless shelter. No, it wouldn't. I'd probably get good food there. Yes, you would. Probably have my own room. Yes, you would.